In this video, we'll focus on how the Color Fidget can be your helper when it comes to developing limited palettes. Painters have been working with limited palettes for centuries, millennia, because they were always limited by the pigments that they had available. Sometimes it was an artistic choice, like the well-known Zorn palette, where he didn't use any blue, it was just red, yellow, black, and white. But now that we have tons of pigments and dyes to choose from and digital colors, etc., the idea of being intentional about which colors you're choosing to use in your palette has become even more important. The concept of a gamut mask, or covering up part of your color range to visualize a limited palette, was developed about 100 years ago by J. Arthur H. Hatt. Painters like James Gurney are popularizing it today. The idea is you start with a representation of your gamut, the widest range of colors that you have to work with. Importantly, this includes all the mixtures in between. So, for example, if you're painting with these 5 paints, your gamut includes all the in-between colors and all the colors you get by mixing across, as well as all the colors you get by mixing your paints with black and white. The next step is to focus in on a range of colors within that gamut, and the gamut mask is a way to visualize that. You can cut out a shape in a piece of tracing paper or cardstock and overlay it on your gamut. And what you're seeing is a representation of a limited palette, one that can be moved around or modified as a brainstorming tool, and that's the key to its value. You can visualize different possible limited palettes before committing to one, mixing it on the actual palette. Gurney has shown that you can alter the mood of a painting or shift it warmer or cooler or lots of other cool effects by working with gamut masks. You should check out his YouTube channel if you haven't already. But let's do our own example in a digital painting app. So if I cover this color disc, which represents all of the full saturation colors available to me in the digital gamut, and then select 3 colors that represent, say, vivid orange, grayish red, and a muted green, what I can do is connect the dots and erase the area of the triangle they create. This visualizes all the blends I can get from those 3 colors, at least in terms of their hue and chroma. I can also get lighter and darker variations of these colors too. But the important thing is, this is helping me visualize. I can't get, say, a more vivid red, or any purples or blues, or a lime green, or a yellow. It's helping me to see what the limits of my limited palette actually are. I can now choose the 3 closest pigments. Let's say it's cadmium orange, viridian, and caput mortuum, or Mars violet. Let's mix those to create some intermediate colors, and now we've got an awesome limited palette to paint with. I decided to paint a picture I took a while ago on a nature walk of this bright orange fungus that I saw, and I thought, well, it might stand out a little better if I cooled off the greens, hence the choice of viridian as my green pigment, and this was my result of painting that picture with this limited palette. So that's just one example of how gamut masking can help you brainstorm and solve color harmony problems and plan limited palettes. But it's not just limited to painters. The Color Fidget takes inspiration from this gamut masking idea so that anybody who works with color can start to use that same brainstorming technique. So on the Color Fidget, overlaid on top of the actual color disc are these 2 rotating masks, and you see they have a very specific shape. I designed them with gamut masking in mind. Let's take a look at the Color Fidget in this configuration. There's a high chroma red, a medium chroma, and a low chroma. And then you can see the mask is designed to sort of step down on either side so that I can see a medium chroma red-orange and then a low chroma orange. And then on this side, a medium chroma like magenta and a low chroma fuchsia. So I get a very wide range of low chroma colors, a medium range of mid chroma colors, and a small range of only one hue of high chroma colors. And the same is true on the opposite side. And importantly, the gray at the center of the color wheel here is visible as well. So this configuration is analogous to if I took my digital wheel and I made a mask like this. and I just did an ellipse showing at the point on either side high chroma contrasting colors, and then sort of this range of lower and lower chroma colors, and then gray in the center. So what this is saying is, in this limited palette, you can work with all of the colors between these two high chroma colors, but that also includes, as I lower in chroma, more and more hues. Say you want to limit your gamut to warm or cool colors. You can actually do that with the Color Fidget in this configuration. On this side, it's showing a range of warm colors, right? Because as I get into yellow, I have to start desaturating it. If I get a yellow that's slightly greenish, it has to be very desaturated, pale or grayish. And then I can also get some like darker reds and then very dark, cool reds, but anything outside of that isn't going to read as warm. So this is sort of a gamut of warm colors, and then the same is true over here. It's a gamut of cool colors. So whether you're a painter or someone who works with color in some other discipline, the concept of gamut masking, of first visualizing the full range of colors and then visualizing subsets to intentionally choose to work with within that, I think is a very powerful way to work with color and gives you much more flexibility, creativity, more options than the traditional, triad, analogous, complement, whole shebang. All right, so stay tuned, because in the next lesson, we're actually going to get more into this idea of different color relationships that the different windows on the masks can show you.